what different types of fire extinguishers and what are they for? Well, how many is there?
Six, seven, yeah. 7. Water.
Right, it's got water, which is for sort of your wood, paper, any cloth materials, basically household things. But CO2?
Yes, which is electrics. It can be used on fuels. It can be used on some material aspects, but the main use of a CO2 we always is
CO2. It's got the it doesn't hold the Class A rating.
No,
but it does generally.
But we always electric.
Yeah,
CO2.
Electric CO2. And there's dry powder, which obviously you get your ABC dry powder, which is for Class A, Class B, Class C, which is obviously talk about oil wood paint materials, your fuels, and then C is your gases. You get BC powders, but they're free obscene, which again will cover the BC risks. Then you get Class D, which is your metals. So again, these will only be in warehouses. And then foam,
which is very similar to water, because obviously it contains water, but it has the ingredient of the foam that creates the foam, which can be used on your everyday materials like your woods and things like that, but also can be used on fuel sources and things like that because it creates the skin.
They're trying to do away with the fluoride foam, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that's getting banned. It keeps changing. They keep saying that they after 2030, they're saying that you can't put it in anywhere anymore. So then it'll just be a water. They do sell a fluorine-free foam, but it's more expensive, and 9 times out of 10, water will
do the job.
Yeah, but even better if you do a water mist, which comes out as a mist. It'll cover
a lot of category, a lot of categories.
Yeah, A, B, C, and is it ABC? Is it ABC?
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
I don't think it is. I think it's A, B. I don't think it's C.
What?
Definitely D. You water mist. It's F. I think it's A, B, and F. Hey, we'll stop that one.
Yeah.
Oh, start again. Right. So we've got water mist as well, which is your Class A, Class B, and it does your flammable liquids on your cooking fats.
It's a really good extinguisher,
and it can be refilled with just
normal water. Yeah, that's right.
Then on the brand.
And then we have our wet chem.
Yep.
The best extinguisher you can have in a kitchen with a deep fat fryer issue. That works in the way of it doesn't dry the oil out, but it congeals it. So it smothers the fire or the progression of the fire, and it congeals it. And then obviously it can be cleaned up. But there's pros and cons to each extinguisher.
Like speaking to a professional, you're going to know which one to put in and why.
In every building, that extinguisher should have been recommended for the particular use of that room.
But there's also new extinguishers coming out, which are clean agent, which I'm not sure if they've been pushed through yet and they've got a classification, but they're safe on all electricals, which will be non-damageable either. And they're safe in the environment as well. And I think they've used to be similar like the Halon, which has been banned. So they're coming out very soon, so we'll be coming.
I think when we had the question earlier on about where do we think technology and how it's going to affect things, I think we've got to think about how the environment's going to, our awareness of the environment and what we should and shouldn't be doing. Obviously, foam extinguishers is already talked about, and because of the environmental impact. Powders could be another one that might be looked at, that aspect, because I've heard stories with powders and things when they're set off, it's like a nuclear fallout with the powder when it comes down and settles. It does a fantastic job. It's an amazing extinguisher.
Yeah.
But again, I think the environmental aspect
is going to be, if it goes off in the back of your van, that is a nightmare as well.
Yeah. Have you had that happen?
I wouldn't say personally. Definitely someone else has. Where it was all secured, it was sealed up, it was wrapped up, but it used to have these really thin pins. And and things move around. Even though it's pin and seal, the pins can bend, the prick can be pressed. Not now that they've changed the style a bit, but yeah, when one of them goes off, it looks like your vehicle's on fire.
Yeah.
There's just that much powder coming out of the back, the windows, everything. It's intense.
But the efficient extinguisher,
Rapid knockdown.
a great one to have in a car.
Yep.
Like a portable one in the car. A gentleman told us a story. His wife, the air fryer caught fire in the house, but it wasn't the air fryer that caught fire. It was the hob was on, and she'd put the air fryer on the hob, and the whole thing went up. And the guy, quick thinking, ran out of the car and got the powder extinguisher. And he said, like, literally one press and that was it. It was gone. But they were tidying up the kitchen for a good
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like easy full plaster.
Yes.
Wipe it once and you come back and it's back.
It's back, yeah.
It's like the devil's stain that'll never leave. So there's another question from Jolene. What is the major businesses that I fucked that up. What businesses have the most fire precautions or need the most? So I would say probably restaurants and hotels. We're seeing a lot more for the requirements of suppression systems.
Yeah.
Insurers are saying we're not going to insure you unless you've got one. And also I think the open plan sort of layout of restaurants is making the essentialness, because it's an immediate effect, rapid knockdown from a suppression system which contains the fire within the kitchen hood, which stops the spreading. So if you've got an open pan restaurant and the suppression, the fryer is on, and if the fire could come through and spread all the way through a restaurant, obviously the suppression system is going to stop that.
And again, I think it's about people being aware that aesthetically it might look great having
Yeah. That's grand. That's grand.
It was the suppression system. That's how they work. I think aesthetically a lot of restaurants want this open plan look where you can see into the kitchen, but they don't take into consideration that you've risked the compartmentation of your room because you've opened that up. And then the suppression system has to come into play.
Yeah.
Or it has to be looked at. But I would greatly advise, but kitchens are, it's because of what they operate with. It's the materials they operate with. We've just discussed wet chemical extinguishers.
Yep.
Are a fantastic extinguisher. Like I say, with
your favourite one?
It's one of my favourites, yes. Water's a close second.
Yeah.
I do like a foam. But yeah, wet chem, they're the best.
They're the best.
Thank you, guys.
Your slogan on that one, don't we?